are now tuned to BS3 Network.
Welcome back to another edition of the Forecast. We do have 4 people tonight. Look at that. Look at that. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord.
That boy good.
That boy good. But anyway, we're back with the finale of OJ Made in America Part 5. And we got the special guest, the one that recommended we do this, the one and only Hygh of Casual Highlights, BS3 Network. How you doing tonight?
Doing good. How y'all doing?
Good. All right. Doing good.
Good. Hey, you're gonna have to put a promo code or something for that hat in the chat.
Oh, yeah, man.
That's right. This is the new one, yeah.
They added to my hat collection over here.
But man, this has been great reviewing this. It came out in 2016. Once again, OJ Made in America. It's on Netflix. I'm not sure how long it's going to be on there. I don't know if this is like one of those limited time type deals, but definitely something I would recommend checking out. And, with the passing of OJ Simpson, I think this was good timing to do this. So I appreciate the recommendation, Al. Yeah. And you've been tuning in, and Wilkes was like, "Hey, why don't you get him on for the last one?" I'm like, "I'm sure he'll do it." So here we are.
It only makes sense.
Yeah, it only makes sense. I agree.
Appreciate y'all having me. Thank y'all.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Wilkes, you doing good? Came in right in the nick of time.
I'm doing good. Yeah, I was, and I even I logged on early to make sure I didn't have any issues, and sure enough, I had issues. But I had to restart my browser. I closed it, so I don't know, man.
Yeah,
technology.
You hear, man. That's the most important part. You hear your man cave, your office is still intact, so you hear.
Exactly. Yes. Good to go.
And A-Trap, the one and only A-Trap. How you doing?
Always good, man.
Yeah, good to see you. All right, man. So this part 5, and before I get into that, make sure to like, subscribe, click that notification bell, so that you can be on top of all the content that's coming out on BS3 Network, The End of the Bench, Queen 3 and King, Forecast, all of those platforms. So continue to support. We greatly appreciate it. It helps us grow, helps the network grow, and helps us continue to put out great content. So we appreciate that. Let me say that first. All right. So part 5, this is the ending of everything, kind of the culmination of all of the things that happened in the first 4 parts. And obviously it talks about the verdict. It talks about the different things. But Al, with you coming on, I wanted to kind of come to you first. Talk about the past 4 episodes leading up to this. Was this your first time watching this, or did you see it back in 2016?
This was my 3rd time watching it. I watched it the first time maybe online, I think 2018, 2019. Then I watched it again in 2022. And then with the passing, I said, I need to watch it again. I've always been like following Twitter. I have a thing for underdogs who sometimes have been mistreated or who've been misunderstood.
Yeah.
In this particular thing, I've even gone back and forth to say, well, OJ was not guilty. I was a younger person when the verdict came out in elementary school. I didn't know who OJ was. Who is this man? Why are we following a Bronco? I'm trying to watch the NBA Finals, and at the same time, I'm getting indoctrinated with a white Bronco going down.
Being escorted.
Escorted. Like, what is this? So I was always fascinated. And then I was a young person in the sports, and then all of a sudden I'm in elementary school. I see a book at the library with OJ Simpson, and I'm like, is this related to this person right here? Because he was a football player. So and then following him even on Twitter up until X, and then X pissed me off. And so about a couple months before he died, I got off there. But the only reason why I stayed on X was for him. And so I've been back and forth. I was back and forth about it. Like, man, he didn't do it. And then when he got in trouble with that stuff in Vegas, which we're going to talk about tonight, I was like, okay, I probably felt like majority black people, which I'm going to ask y'all about, you know, did Black America's opinion change about OJ when he got in trouble the second time? You know, we was all like, nah, he ain't guilty. And now he guilty. So, but now looking, having common sense, more mature, listening to the facts and the research, man, I don't believe this man did it. I believe he knew something about it and who would have done it, but he didn't do it.
Yeah. And I'm gonna go ahead and answer that question right now. All the black people thought this.
You big dummy.
That right there. Yeah. That's it.
That's what they thought.
That's it.
That's exactly what they thought.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And also, man, I think one of the hidden stars of this documentary was Carl Douglas with the storytelling,
he's hilarious, man.
Yeah, the storytelling and the analogies that he was coming with. He was kind of the hidden star. He kind of showed like, I'm gonna, I'm not Johnny Cochran,
right?
But I am Carl Douglas, and I'm about to give y'all some good one-liners. So, shout out to Carl Douglas. Let me get to the chat real quick. Letitia Porter, thank you for tuning in with that death row style photo.
She got that Anita Baker going on.
Hey, side note, Anita Baker starting to become like Lauryn Hill. Everybody was like, why Lauryn Hill not at the Sister Act? Man. I was like, she was late. That's why she wasn't there. Anyway.
He just say, I ain't got time for
you. Blue Streak, Theodore in the building. Thank you for tuning in. Happy belated birthday again. David Evans, man, thank you for tuning in. He's over in Cali, so appreciate that. All right. So they kind of really got right into this with the deliberation and kind of talking about, how the verdict was going to be reached and who was happy and who wasn't happy and all of these other things. Wilkes, I'm gonna come to you. Kind of opening of part 5. What was kind of your thoughts?
I felt like as I was watching this, I mean, it was one of those things where it was like they're ready to throw the book at this dude. They've been calling him guilty the entire, But as I'm watching it, I'm like, even that one scene, I'm maybe coming forward, but even the one scene where I can't think of her name right now, but she mentioned like she knew what the verdict was going to be. Like she was already pissed coming out the house, but
Marsha
Clark. Marsha Clark. She was already pissed coming out of the house, but in the beginning, in the opening, I think they really knew what was mounting, and I just felt like, man, here it is. It's almost like when you're watching it, especially now his passing, it just made episode 5 a little bit more somber. I guess it was kind of like, dang, you know what the end is, because even if he was still alive, it's like, dang, but even more so now, it's just like, oh crap, like there's just this ghostly kind of feel, when you watch it, somber, whatever. But I think I enjoyed 5. I just think that opening was getting ready to just kind of, well, here's his accolades, but here come the verdict. Yeah. We got to hit you with the verdict. Yeah. We already know. And then, things that after that, but it just kind of erupted. Because when I heard it, I'm like, man, I instantly remember where I was when that verdict came down. I mean, matter of fact, Mr. Heath, math class at Wilbur Hutchins High School took a single file line to the library to watch it. So I'll never forget it. Shout out to Mr. Heath if he's still out there, math class, baby. Math 3. But it's one of those things where I was just like, oh gosh.
Yeah. So this was on my birthday. I didn't realize that. I forgot. October 3rd, 1995. I turned 12. So like that's 13 actually. But I remember Miss Smith, again, going back to school. They rolled the TV. Y'all know that TV that was on that stand. You put the you used to put the remotes and the erasers and all the, the extension cords underneath there. Rolled that TV in there and we watched the verdict. So I mean, it wasn't just and some of the jurors said it, like we were looking out for our own. You know, this wasn't just about OJ. This was about Black people, and it was really about payback on all the things that have happened in LA. And OJ was just a piece in it, but it was like, yeah, this is payback. You said what?
A conduit.
Right. And go ahead and touch on that, Atro.
Oh, well, you know what? This, believe it or not, man, I watched this whole thing when it first came out. I didn't watch this episode. All of this was new to me.
You didn't watch number 5?
I'm watching this going, damn, I don't remember this. I don't remember it, especially the end. That was the best part, man. I became a OJ fan at that point. I'm like, man, the juice was on.
Hey, yeah.
But I mean, this is America personified, man. This is the problem with the United States of America today. You had a group of people. Some of them were saying, "Get back." Some of them were saying, the one lady who was consistently throughout the entire documentary, the juror, the brown lady. I can't remember my name. I meant to write her name down. The brown lady, brown skinned lady. She was narrating throughout the entire thing. She was telling the truth. The older woman, she was not. She was like, "Look, it was get back." But let's just look at it. Let's look at this honestly. Let's just look at it. I'm gonna make it very brief and look at it honestly. We got a chance to see why why America is broken. Yeah. You had a team of you had legions of white people that act as if they could not understand why Black people would get back. Right. And you had a group of Black people who were saying, "Hey man, that's what you get. Now you know how it feels." And we have been so conditioned to understand that when Medgar Evers got killed, nobody paid for it. To this day, it's still up in the air who killed Malcolm and who killed Martin. It's been so many Trayvon Martin, Dennis Byrd, so many people have walked after murdering people from our community, and we just had to go, it's cool. And then the lady, the one juror, people who have known me for years found out I was on that jury and stopped talking to me. So if we were to do the exact same thing in other direction, when Zimmerman got away, when all these cops get away, what if we stop talking to our white coworkers and friends? Right. We would be considered wrong. Right. So welcome to the party.
Yeah. I don't know what you're so upset about.
Really?
Right.
And I think one of the hidden or underlining things with this jury is that for 267 days, they said this, they were sequestered. They couldn't talk to their families. They went back to the rooms on their own. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Now they said they couldn't talk to their families too, right? I mean, you basically
when you sequestered, you can't leave your room and go down the hall and go talk to
Alice. Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, she said she couldn't. Yeah, she said she couldn't talk to families. She couldn't talk to the jurors.
Right.
Yeah. She was in the room, man.
I mean, you're basically in solitary. Yeah, right, exactly. And so you think all of that, and you get to the very end. I don't know what that conversation was like, but it's like, man, we trying to get out of here. So, like, who not agreeing, and let's try to sway. I mean, and I've been on 2 different juries, and it kind of became that way. We were. It was 2 days for us, and at that second day, people. Yeah, I was gonna ask that. I've been on one, but that second day we was like, look, like what do we need to do to get? Because it was like one person. It was like, bro, what we need to do to get you over here? Okay, you want them to get you some extra donuts, man? What do you need, man? We can all put $5 in, and we can go ahead and take care of this, man. And so I think it became that type of thing. And so Al, have you served on a jury or juries before?
I have not. The time I was supposed to serve, get called up for when COVID happened. So if I missed out,
I've never been called for jury duty.
Will.
Ow. Yeah. Oh gosh, man. I've been called plenty of times, but I've only sat on one. It was like a insurance kind of thing. Accident. Trying to fraud. Yeah, it was like insurance fraud or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just kind of one of those experiences. Like, look, we all know this man is cheating the system, man. Can we get out of here?
Please.
Can we get out of here?
And mine was last year
I
doing the
remember
Big
that.
12. Yeah, doing Big 12
Yeah,
media.
doing Big
I was
12.
supposed to be doing that.
Yeah.
And I was trying to get out of it too.
Yeah.
And somehow I
Yeah.
still didn't get picked. But
Yeah, there's
Anyway.
something I've been lucky. It was just like, oh, because like
Anthony.
my number was so high, like they didn't
No,
even
no.
get to like, for example, like 12, 19, whatever it was. It was like a crazy number, but it was just like and I've been to the point where they've asked us like, oh, are you going to be maybe susceptible to agreeing with this? Like, what's keeping you from not being a juror? Like, I've gotten that far where they question you and present you with the evidence, and if they feel like you could be turned, they send you back out of the hall.
Yeah.
Then they bring you back in. I don't know how if anybody else.
Yeah, it was the same way.
Yeah, they bring you back in. Then they say, "Well,
these jokers down here don't know. They don't know.
Yeah.
I know you got to know.
They don't know. They don't know yet.
Yeah,
but I'm a speaking into existence. You could be on a jury.
You and a million other people that tried to speak it.
Right.
And
So,
then Jesus said,
I've been there.
Get ready.
Shando, here you go.
Right. Give me that Benny Hinn jacket.
Right, exactly. Oh, hey, there's a guy on YouTube. I don't know how I came into this. Forgot what the guy. I think his name was something Winger. This dude did a like 8-hour dissertation on Benny Hinn.
8 hours?
8. I might be exaggerating how many hours. I had to look it up, but it was at least 5. Let me see if I can find it. But this dude went in on Benny Hinn. It's like no doubting. So anyway, that's the side note.
I need it.
Shout out to Cindy. Thank you for tuning in. She said that was my question. Maybe how many days were they not able to, communicate with their family?
Oh God, didn't they? I don't know.
267.
Yeah, 267 days.
Yeah. And so obviously we know the verdict. It was Tuesday, October 3rd, 1995. Not guilty. Prosecution. And a lot of what they said is that they just didn't come correct. And the lady like A-Trap was talking about, she said it from whatever episode she came on, she said they did not present the case correctly.
She said that they had different lawyers and that they had different evidence or information.
And they just made horrible choices. They made bad choices on the jury.
Oh, because
and Marsha Clark coming in early on, like, I know black women. Me and some black women, we like this. We all good.
Right. See, when you say that,
it was over. It was a wrap right there.
Like you know us, man. You don't know us, man. Hold on, wait a minute.
Right.
Exactly.
And like I've always said, you say you got black friends. No, you don't have black friends. You know black people.
Yeah.
Right.
You don't have black friends. You just know them.
Right.
But you don't have any friends. You're aware of black people.
Yeah, my cousin next door neighbor is black. I've been over there once or twice.
Mm-hmm.
That don't count, Marshall.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I saw him eating chicken.
And watermelon.
Watermelon,
It's one of those things where it's like, you want, you know a black person, but as long as they're like-minded like you don't want the black person that's pro-black and different and doing things and not speaking correctly or not saying certain words correctly. You don't want those black people.
Just say H-rap, man. Don't beat around.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just like, it's one of those people. It's just like, whatever. You make up these fairy tale black people, man. Stop.
Hey, man. And as soon as that verdict was read, Goldman was like, and that dude got that Raleigh fingers. I don't know if y'all remember Raleigh fingers a long time ago. That mustache, he was going like this, like, I ain't over yet. Ain't over yet. Hey, but he did everything possible, which we'll talk about that in a little while. But I felt like another area where they messed up. They didn't do any research, I guess, on the jurors, because one of the jurors stood up and they figured out afterwards that he was a former Black Panther, and he stood up with the fist, and it's like, y'all didn't do any background or anything. You just said
No, it
you
was.
look good.
Can you imagine? It's almost like medicine. The law at that time was probably wacky. Things were slipping through the cracks, which they still do.
Yeah.
Can you imagine practicing and studying law in the 90s when you've got OJ Simpson, you got Bill Clinton in office, you got a small war going on in Somalia, you got rap music, you got LA riots, you got Rodney King.
Rodney King.
I can't even imagine. Gangster rap is at its hottest. I mean,
F the police.
another black revolution. You got Living Single. You got Martin on TV that are aware of what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Living Single is still going strong for a minute. Jamie Foxx show is coming up on the tail end. I mean, but most of these, it's like one of those. And don't forget Different World. Different World is still on.
Oh yeah.
So it's one of those things where it's like a black renaissance. You got a lot going on. Then this trial and then the law, it's like it was probably just kind of whatever we can throw at you. And like I said, it's like medicine. Through the years, it changes. It's like, man, this is what you're doing. This is what you're studying. Mm-hmm. So I can imagine. The loopholes and the things that were probably thrown out or overlooked or done wrong, handled wrong.
Yeah. So Al, what did you think about Ron Goldman and his pursuit of taking down OJ at all costs?
I think he was misled. I think he was just a father who loved his son dearly and was in grief, but really didn't know the behind the scenes of what Nicole Brown Simpson's family was really about. And he just wants, and I haven't done a lot of background research on Ron Goldman. Apparently, he worked at the restaurant the night Nicole's family came in there. Yeah. And it was kind of where he dropping off glass, or maybe he knew us some type of way. I don't.
He was dropping off something. He wasn't no glass.
Like where the hell? How you know where where your guests live?
Yeah. Probably was busting something down allegedly. I ain't gonna get into all that.
Right.
That ain't my business.
Allegedly.
Right.
But I just feel like a father. We talk about a mother's pain when they lose a son, but we don't really always discuss when a father loses their son or when a father loses their child. And I think, and he's still been fighting for years. There was a statement when OJ died, and it came out from the Goldman family about, they still believe OJ did it 30 plus years later. Right. So I feel for him, but he didn't get the whole truth. And there needs to be some blame put on the prosecution. I don't even think he got peace when OJ went to jail, when he went to Vegas. He in jail, but he didn't pay for the
he got some. Yeah. But when he got out, he was still trying to get a hold of the money. And I think I that's a great point, Al. I think when your child gets taken away like that, you gotta cling to something. Like it's him. It's him, and you're just laser focused on him. And I think he had to have something, to get him through the time and to and somebody to blame. Honestly, is really what it came down to. And he was the main figure that was tied to it. And so, that's kind of what it came down to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So OJ acquitted. And we talked about the payback, and so the older lady, she was like 90% of the jury was like, this payback for Rodney King. Now they didn't show all the jurors. I don't know. Obviously, we know one of them was a former Black Panther. One of them was the older female. The other one was the brown skin or light skin lady. Now they didn't show the other people, but it was majority Black, and it was majority, I believe, females. What they were saying in the earlier.
Wasn't it like 8-4, like female to male?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I believe so. So, I mean, at the end of the day, when you're in a situation like this and how it happened and everything that was happening around that time, I don't discount or discredit their choice. Now, fast forward to what happened in Vegas, and they were like, Did you feel like you made a mistake? And she said, I think so. But you're not gonna know the future of what somebody's gonna do, how their outcome is gonna be. But that moment of them when that verdict was read, and it was basically like a praise and worship service on the outside. People,
people dancing. Hands. Yeah, boy,
yeah. People dancing. I mean, like you said, even just watching, like they said, it felt like payback. It felt like, man, you talking about some people hurt when Trump got in office? Nah, man, nah. These people, when OJ was free, oh God, well, they was, man, they on the street.
Yeah, they're on the street, man. Like, yeah, that's what you get. And they're like, what you mean? What? I don't even know what's going on.
Man, they were miserable, man. I was just like, oh my God.
Hey, what's up, CJ, with that Ledbetter Luca on the Abby photo, man?
Look like Justin Timberlake mix over there in that picture, man.
Yeah.
Hey, Luca better get ready, man. This is game 3.
Man,
better be ready.
It's serious. It's time to lock in now, baby.
Better be ready.
Yeah.
And then somebody mentioned, there was one of OJ's friends said, the verdict put a red line across society. I was like, it was already there.
It was already there.
It wasn't there for you. It wasn't there for you. Yeah, right. Exactly. He been in his secluded world where he don't have to deal with anything.
Right.
Yeah. They got jokes.
The line been there.
Yeah, he said Mavs in 6.
Let's go, baby.
My original prediction was Mavs in 7. I'm gonna stick to that until if they lose this next game, no, it's a wrap. You ain't coming back 3-0. 2-0 is possible.
Man, they got too many weapons on the Celtics, man. They got
I
too
know,
much,
man. If they go down 3-0,
and Tatum hadn't even played his best game yet.
Yeah.
Right. So tomorrow on Wednesday, if they go down 3-0.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm just gonna say this. That was a foul. His hand, bro. If your hand like this, that's a foul.
Here's the crazy thing about that play. That's the same exact play they called on PJ Washington in the early part of the game.
Yeah.
When he went for the block and they went the challenge. Remember they lost the challenge?
Right.
They called it a foul. The same exact thing happened in those last few minutes, and they didn't call it. I'm like,
but I'm not one of those people that say if this would have happened, this would have happened. You shouldn't have been in that situation. Bottom line is you should have made them free throws. And that's the reason why you really lost the game. But
like I said in game 1, if you stop looking around at the ref for a fucking foul,
exactly.
Excuse my language.
No, you're right.
They're scoring on the other end. You're too busy talking about, hey,
where's the foul?
Bro. Yeah. They down there scoring.
Yeah.
They done got 3 rebounds because you down here talking about, hey, he fouled me. It's time to play, baby. It's time to lock in.
Yeah. Game 3 on Wednesday.
Let's go, Mavs. I hope you hear me tonight. Let's go.
Yeah, Kyrie, get your sage.
Hey, whatever
you ready, man. Be ready, Kyrie. Hey, but they've been all over Kyrie though, so I mean he gonna have to figure. You got to come
George
out of
Jefferson
the bag,
better come with it because we gonna need George Jefferson. Okay, come on, old man Kyrie. Let's go, baby.
Uncle Drew.
Drew, come on, Drew. Wait that.
Let's go, baby.
So Chris Darden, and I'm gonna come to you. Chris Darden, breaking down, had a breakdown moment, and crying into, I don't know who that was he was hugging, but
this guy.
He just made a bunch of bad decisions, man, and his pride got in the way. He thought, I'm as big as Johnny Cochran. I'm gonna pull this glove out of this bag from however long it's been in the bag, and I'm gonna tell you to put this on, and this gonna go well. So Al, give me your thoughts on Chris Darden.
This reminded me of anytime somebody challenged Jordan to, "Are we gonna beat your team?" And Jordan be like, "What?" And you're trash talking beforehand.
Yeah.
So there was some mental notes.
Bad decision.
And then you play it, and then Jordan would play the game to where you make the bad decision. I'm not gonna make the bad decision. I'm gonna let you do you. But if I catch you slipping, I got you. And underestimated Johnny Cochran. If you look at the record, the man would only lost 3 or 4 cases ever. Oh no, excuse me, 1. Thank you, H-Rap. But yeah, I mean,
got him out.
Yeah, dominated. and Chris Darden didn't do his homework. On top of that, you had LAPD wasn't doing what they were supposed to do. I mean, we go from the mishandling of evidence at the crime scene. We throwing a blanket on the victim, and we picking up certain evidence at the scene, putting your hands on and moving stuff over here, over there. Yeah, and just certain things that Darden, he overestimated a lot of stuff. Yeah. And Marsha, and now we got to give Marsha some credit now. She tried to warn him and some. Hey, I wouldn't do that if I was you. Yeah. No, we're gonna do it this way. And, and even most of the witnesses that they brought up, they brought the some of the forensic people. They like, oh yeah, this is so. Man, look, the Cochran team let it rip.
Yeah,
I got a question.
Everybody.
I got to Al Hygh's point. I got a question, and I was really young, like I said, when the verdict came down, and when I was in high school, freshman. So, and this is my first time watching this, so I love the recommendation. Why didn't they pin OJ on the DNA? I never heard, because Marsha Clark was all about the DNA, but they didn't pin him with the DNA. They kept going further and digging, and then they brought in a racist cop, which, like, why you even got him here? Yeah. Like,
his background is already sketchy. Right.
Maybe he planted the glove. You say there's blood on the Bronco, then there's the shoes he's wearing, and I mean, I don't understand it. If that, then it's a wrap.
I got you.
Yeah.
Okay, the reason the DNA didn't work is because the solvent that's inside the tubes was found in the blood. And when you find that solvent in the blood and you mishandling evidence, and who carries blood from the scene of a crime, or blood from, take a sample of blood from OJ, you carry it to the scene of a crime. That makes you look as if you planted it. That was Cochran and the Dream Team's whole thing. These people are not as upstanding as you think they are. They planted it. That's why the DNA expert said, hey, how often do you pick up stuff with your bare hands? I'll never. Yeah. Go to the film.
Gotcha.
And then F. Lee Bailey said to what's his name? Furman, how did you find a bloody glove 10 hours later than this crime? And we discussed it last week. Blood is something that dries up extremely fast. You cut your hand on something, you can bleed profusely. In like 10 minutes, that blood is dry. Yeah. So you found something 10 hours later soaked in blood. No, it doesn't happen that way. So it clearly looked as if this is one of, like, I was going to speak next. I'm assuming Ben was going to come to me next. And what I was going to say is what we're looking at is the reason we fell for the trick, for one. The first thing we fell for is we see Christopher Darden as lead prosecutor. Marsha Clark made that decision. Chris just kept pushing for it. She had the authority to say, no, we ain't doing that, Chris. She allowed it to happen. We placed blame on Chris Darden. They're just like us three, us four right here. And when Dog comes back, if we in our group chat, as we all are, and we say, I want to do Beretta the movie, and if everybody say no, if we still do it, Ben can't say, see, it was on H-Rap. Y'all let me do it.
Right. Yeah.
If everybody says no, and I keep pushing it, y'all say, forget it, we're gonna do it, H-Rap. Y'all can't say, see, you ruined it. No, I didn't. I just kept suggesting. You could have ultimately said no.
Right.
The second thing is this, and this is the most important thing. The reason they allowed Chris Darden to make a holistic mistake like that is because they are consistently playing with a stacked deck. They know that they're crooked. They know that the deck is stacked in their favor. So go ahead, Chris, do something stupid. We're gonna get this, and that's what happens when you are consistently cheating. Look, we just won a case where we had video of officers beating the hell out of somebody, and those dudes work right now, or they probably retired by now. They never got fired.
Right. Yeah. They didn't.
So if we have videotape it can win, this is hearsay. He going to jail. That's what this was.
They got cocky. And on all fronts, they just felt like they had everything in the bag. They felt like they didn't really have to work hard. It didn't seem like they put in a ton of effort or creativity. Johnny Cochran and them boys, they was rearranging photos.
Yeah.
They was making sure he like, don't take your blood pressure medicine for the next couple of days. I mean, they were making sure that everything was positioned.
Yeah.
And when you come to, when you do something like your parents used to say, if you do something half-assed, this is how it's gonna work out for you.
Right.
But also too, it lets you know what money can get you for that type of defense. It may have been a win for Black America that day, but how many Black Americans have that type of defense to come against certain crimes like this?
I think that's a misnomer too, Al. I think we spoke about that last week.
Yeah.
You got more money in the city of Los Angeles. They keep saying OJ had so much money, that's how he did it. No, these people, like y'all keep saying, they went into this half-cocked. Because are we to believe that OJ stirred up enough money for arguably the richest city in America?
Okay. So I'm gonna say it let me break it, because some people don't know law like that. And let's say they didn't do the crime. You had some people who've been to jail for 20 or 30 years and then finally get off. They wasn't even in the vicinity of the crime scene. They probably couldn't afford an attorney. So but the court granted him attorney who was boys with the prosecution. And they was like, well, we'll cut you a certain deal. And that's what I'm saying. See, OJ knew people and then had the money to get extra hookups and benefits. Yeah. That's why I mean that part is the money. When you got people like average Joe like me, if they accusing me of a crime, the bail out $100,000 and then I still gotta get paid legal fees of $2 million, and then we're gonna give you an attorney, there's a possibility the attorney ain't gonna give a damn about you. So that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
And to Al Hygh's point, even like there's a snippet of OJ saying, "Hey, we can't lose this. You better not lose this."
Yeah.
That's the sound of a man that's paid good money.
I ain't paying y'all to sit around.
Hey, like that clip that's going around social media. If I don't get my money tonight, I'm gonna need it. Superfly. Give it up, Superfly. It's like one of those things. Like, hey guys, I can't lose this. We can't lose this. You can't make me look. They trying to take me down. They coming for my throat. Yeah. So that is the sound of a man that, like he said, he's always been winning. He's been a champion of the people. He created this mantra, this thing. OJ is an entity. It's a thing. It's a person.
It's a name, image, and likeness.
Like the lady said,
NIL before NIL. Yeah.
Hey, like that lady said, OJ, you've been OJ. It's an OJ experience.
Yeah.
I have teleported you to something different, a diaspora of whatever, crazy.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things. And OJ knew, hey, I can't dangle up here too long because they're currently they trying to cut the strings. They coming for me.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things where he knew, like, hey, we can't lose this, because if we lose this, I'm falling right here today because I'm not finished establishing what I have to offer. So no.
And Letitia, you're right with this comment. Plus, OJ knew the whole. Oh yeah. I mean, the dude wasn't stupid. He was not. It wasn't as if he didn't understand, and he was just
crazy.
Yeah, he was a vital part of that entire defense.
You know what? What Will just said, something I never even thought about. It's something that it just rung the bell for something I never even considered. Think about this, y'all. Look how much OJ played a role in this defense. That's not what guilty people do.
Hey.
He was too engaged.
Yeah.
Listen to some of the stuff they said he was saying.
Right.
If you guilty, you just sit back like, man, I hope they get me off. He like, look, man, if they find me guilty, man, don't nobody come see me. I don't want to talk to you no more.
I don't want to talk to anybody.
Stay away from me.
Because you're not going to humiliate me. You're not going to have me call in to Phil Donahue from the penitentiary.
Yeah.
You know, even though Phil Donahue was probably gone at that time. But
Nah, he was still there.
you're
He
not
was
gonna have
still
me
there.
talking to Oprah and Barbara Walters, you know, from behind. Nah, man. You ain't going to parade me around. That's what you want.
Right.
You're not going to do that.
He literally went all in.
Yeah.
How many times you hear people going all in like that, and then some, and then you out here to have more money to create for your defense. You selling, you doing everything you can. I mean, selling, writing your autograph in the jailhouse, selling $150 a pop. You know, okay, all right, and that was a hot commodity before eBay. You know, where's the OJ merchandise at, man?
Right. Internet was not selling that type of stuff on the internet. Was not going on. You had to know somebody. You had to know this. Yeah. You had to know what was that dude named Richie Rico. You had to know a Richie Rico.
Yeah.
Hey, man, that's
already sounds shady. It sounds shady already.
One of the slimiest looking dudes I ever seen in my life.
The Capricola.
This guy, man.
Yeah.
Now,
let me touch on one more thing, Ben, before you go to the next thing. I want to touch on Ron Goldman's dad. You know what? Initially, before I was talking, I did have empathy for him. But even Nicole's sister made me lose empathy for him because it wasn't about justice for him anymore. It was about money. It went from my son needs to be vindicated to I got to make sure you don't have no money. What does his money have to do with anything, Ron? I mean, Mr. Goldman. If anything, I'm sitting around hoping he died. But I don't care about no money. That's why you kind of lose empathy for this guy. Because
I think he wanted to make his life. He wanted to make his life miserable, and I think he felt like money was the best way to do it. That's what I felt like he was trying to do.
Yeah, but you know what?
For a long time in my head, I thought Fred was Nicole Simpson's dad. I mean, the way he.
Thank you.
I was confused. I'm like, well, damn, is he the dad? I thought, well, wait a minute. I was like, what? They got different names? I didn't know what was going on.
That's what I'm saying, man. I'm starting to doubt if Fred even thought dude did it. He just wanted to blame somebody.
Yeah.
That's the impression I get.
He shows up in Las Vegas for the next trial. Like, come on, man, you're doing too much, man. Like, come on, man. You just,
you know.
Yeah, that was interesting too.
I'm literally at the crib every night praying that he died, but I ain't gonna be traveling around the country to get him to die.
Right. I mean, he traveling to court to hearings and sitting. I'm like, what's he doing, Fred?
This ain't even your case, homie.
That's what I'm saying.
This had nothing to do with you.
Nothing.
That's got the furthest to do with
like,
you.
What?
But I would say, and the one thing I did not agree with, I want to get y'all thoughts on this. So he's free. His son reads this letter, and he said OJ is going to be searching for the real killers. Did he really need to say that?
I don't believe that. They try to say that to make themselves look good, but he didn't.
You don't need to say that though. You need to distance yourself. As far it's done and over with. You say, okay, I'm free. I'm gonna go to church like that pastor said. I'm gonna go to church every weekend. I'm gonna be on the deacon board. I'm gonna be on the usher board.
He should have been in church.
Yeah, he said he should have been a model citizen. He should have been in a church.
Really, what he was about to say is he should have been a member of my church so we can get them tithes.
Bring it on in.
Get that love offer. So I can put some more Williams on my caddy. But did y'all agree with that? You felt like that, Wilkes? You felt like that was needed to put in that statement?
No, I don't think so. It was actually, I felt like it was just kind of goofy. It was like, dude, just leave, man. Just leave, because they're looking to nail you with anything. Because you got off, just get in the damn Astro van and drive to Rockingham and go on in the house.
Don't come out, man. And he was just, and I think also, he was goofy like that. Like the dude was goofy. I mean, all right, man, like the stuff he wore, the way he acted sometimes, and I think that was just who he was. Yeah, he was just like,
man,
why put that in there?
My hero. Well, I think before he went to jail, he was my superhero. After this, I want to be OJ.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like, and I will not
stop. Came out of that house. No.
Hey, I will not stop searching. for those
Yeah.
killers. I'm like,
No.
bro, you don't have to say that.
Just go home and watch TV, man. And then they show him he's in the house and he's talking to the TV, and then Rob, was it Rob Shapiro?
Shapiro,
Yeah.
Then he's like, they turning on each other, but that's for
Yeah.
Hey, but at that point, let's be honest, they're learning how to market and make money. Try it. If I could have an interview with the Today Show and Barbara Walters in 2020 and Oprah Winfrey in the 90s, they paying me to be on here. So I'm gonna say whatever it is and get that payday, baby.
Hey, Shapiro was like, "Oh, y'all giving me a bag? Like now? Like I'll be there. I'll be there right now." He was. I feel like this trial is over with and done. So I need to move on to what I'm about to like you said, Woods, how I'm about to make money off of this, because it was the trial of the century.
Exactly.
It was. I don't remember any trial. I don't remember any other trial during that time period.
It was the start of court TV reality. It was the beginning.
Basically, yeah.
It was that was reality TV, before reality TV. Yeah. All right, so he moves back. People not coming over the house like they used to. The guy, one of the guys that made the comment about the red line. He seen OJ taking the trash out, and it was like, "Hey man, you ain't came over in a minute." He was like, "Yeah, I'll be over there in a minute." He was like, "Yeah, I ain't coming over there no more." I mean, people weren't coming over there. He was hating and protesting and all that.
Yeah.
And his greatness was slipping. He cared, I think, really more about his image and more about the OJ persona than I think he cared about anything else. And that's what driven him through all of this. Y'all agree, disagree?
Totally.
Wow.
I agree.
I agree with that. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, fame. You've heard it for years and years. Fame is a drug.
Yeah.
And he was high. He was a fame.
He was an addict.
Yeah, he was a fame head. Man. And I'm quite sure, dude. Like, I'm old enough to catch the end of his career. Like when I was 5, OJ was at his peak. And man, everybody in the world wanted to be the juice, man. I mean, he's running through the airport with the suit and tie on, hey, LJ, y'all saw the commercials and the thing.
Long before I want to be Mike like Mike. Yeah, long before.
Right, man. I mean, I remember, dude, there's so many. Look, okay, I can walk y'all through it. 1975, I'm starting to play football. OJ the man. 10 years later, the Bears won in the Super Bowl. One of the best games of the year. When they came back from like 17, 21 points down. OJ calling the plays.
Wow.
The Knicks in the finals, OJ allegedly killing somebody.
In a Bronco.
Close to 55. And OJ his own Cameron them show. OJ been a seminal part of my entertainment my whole life.
Right.
I mean,
hey, it is what it is, man. Check that out, man. That's like 2000 era rap, man, at its finest. Them two dudes doing a podcast. And they had OJ on like every week, I think.
Yeah, he was every week he was a guest.
Yeah.
He was Uncle Juice.
Uncle Juice. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's not what I was gonna say. That's not the one with when Wendy Williams was giving an interview. It's not the same one.
No, this was the Wendy Williams interview was before he went to jail the second time.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. And man, I'm glad, thoughts on Wendy Williams. And her life is not probably going the greatest right now. But you think of like someone who celebrates and brags on people's downfall. Like that was her whole thing. Like that's how she made herself and everything. And I'm not gonna do that to her, but you think that there is something that's gonna come around. There is you shall have what you say. You speaking all this stuff on other people. And even she got OJ. But I don't know if y'all seen that Wendy Williams documentary, but
I hadn't watched it yet. I need to watch it. I feel like I need to check it out.
That was a sad thing to watch. It wasn't.
It's on Hulu.
It wasn't a joyous documentary at all. That was depressing.
Kind of a fall of Wendy Williams, I guess.
Yeah.
It's amazing how everything we've done, she's popped. Not everything, but there's a few things we've done, and she pops up. She could be one of those.
She was
figures.
New York radio, like during that time.
Yeah,
I think
her and Funkmaster Flex, probably.
I was thinking about this, and this just crossed my mind when you're talking about OJ. Was that dude in the 70s was like the first one for athletes and really getting out ahead?
Yeah.
I think today's athletes, they're not going to do it, but I think there needs to be a thank you. There should have been a thank you when OJ passed away, from like LeBron, Michael, Deion, especially the NFL players, Major League, anybody who's doing commercials today, who's made money with commercials should have went back and said, hey, OJ, thank you for what you did with that Hertz rent-a-car commercial. Thank you even though we might not agree with you politically and how you stood, you opened the door for us. We didn't have to go out here. We didn't get accused of committing no crime or nothing, but you were the first one. You know, they gave their flowers to a Jim Brown, but or Michael Jordan or a Bill Cosby, but he was the first athlete that was out there that was running through the airport. You had people saying, "Go, Juice, go!" Without him, there wouldn't be no Light commercial.
Right. No,
he was a brand.
Joe Green.
Yeah, he was a brand.
I mean, To Al Hygh's point, I mean, he's absolutely right. I mean, even when I was growing up, hell, even though the commercials were reruns, they were obviously shot in the 70s, but Hertz was still using those commercials. I mean, I was born in 81. So they're still using this commercial in the height of the Pistons and in the height of the Pacers and the Celtics and the Lakers and Chicago coming up at the end. I mean, it was one of those things where it's kind of like OJ is creating this, like I said, he's creating this sphere of how to exist, how to achieve the mountaintop, how to be the pinnacle. They wanted the OJ effect. OJ was trying to push a brand, how to be successful, how make people, forget that. Oh, this guy is transcending. Well, he tried to, but I guess he did. He transcend race. He transcend acting,
sports.
I mean, music references. He's in rap. Yeah. They reference him in rap music.
They do. Yeah.
I mean, it's just, man.
You want to talk about
Jada Kiss got a song literally said, yeah, they know OJ did it. It's kind of like, what are we doing? So it's just one of those things where it's like OJ, and he created this I don't know, this formula on how to be successful. I mean, he started acting. It's almost kind of like with wrestling. These guys start out wrestling. Next thing you know, they're acting in movies. If you're really good, now you're blowing up. Your face is on everything. OJ did that.
The Rock, prime example.
The Rock is a prime example. He should be. Hey, thanks, OJ.
And the reason why they ain't gonna say thank you is because the backlash of the fans of a certain group of fans.
Because society has created this cancel culture.
Right. I think he may have been the original cancel culture if we think about it.
Oh, possibly. Yeah, absolutely.
Because if you look at the structure of how in the 90s it was let's be real, it was mostly majority white media.
Yeah.
There wasn't no black voices in black media. I mean, BET was like crumbs, okay? I mean, at the time. Still is, owned by Viacom. Right. There wasn't no Roland Martin Unfiltered. There wasn't no BS3 Network.
There wasn't no Simone.
It wasn't all this other stuff that it is now. I believe if that would have happened in 2024 with OJ Simpson, because we're coming up on the 30th year of the chase, then we would have been more informed, and then people would have understood a little bit better, because there would have been more of a more voices to like speak up. All we had was protesting in the street. Like that woman was like, the reporter asked, well, how do you know he didn't do it? Because I just know he didn't do it. Well, how do you know? Because I just know.
We could give you an answer. Like you may not agree with it,
Right.
But this is what I believe. This is what it is.
I know what I know.
But
Because he's
like
black.
Cameron, because Cameron and Mace, they was like, man, come on the show. And that was such a good deed, in my opinion, by Cameron to have him on the show. Because if you listen to his stories on X and what he was talking, man,
Hey, Twitter
dude
world.
was, hey, Twitter world is yours truly, me, yours truly. But the dude still knew what the hell he was talking about. He sounded better than most of the people on ESPN and Fox combined.
Yeah,
I don't think
was-
anybody. He would run circles around a Stephen A. Probably a Whitlock. A couple. Monica.
Ain't no problem.
Ain't no problem with Whitlock.
I mean, don't forget.
I'll run circles around both of them now.
He was commentary and a reporter for NBC.
NBC for years,
Yeah.
And was good at it, calling games, all that. Like
sideline reporting.
Sideline, yeah.
Hell, even on at the time when it was it's still Twitter to me, but I mean he would make draft comments. He would talk about the athlete that's in the news. He was watching. He was watching because first of all, sports was his area, his atmosphere.
Yeah.
That's what. Hey, I transcended here. I exist here still.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have to honestly say, whether for me, anytime I see Hurts, I'm gonna think OJ. Anytime I see Buffalo Bills, I'm gonna
Tom
think
Brady
OJ.
ain't Hurts.
Right, Tom Brady ain't Hurts.
Nah, ain't even close.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, and of course my team, San Francisco, they drafted him, but the point is, Buffalo is gonna always stand out to me because that's the first time OJ, to me, he's produced loose, baby. I mean, it's hell. It's just like Jordan. If Jordan go to the Wizards, I ain't thinking about the Wizards, man. I don't think about Jordan. I think automatically Chicago. Come on, man. Shot City.
Right.
Let's go, baby.
Well, North Carolina.
That win, man. Back the knife, man. Come on, man. Yeah. So it's just one of those things where it's just OJ,
USC, and Buffalo. It ain't no.
Ain't no San Francisco.
Oh yeah, USC, of course. So if it's one of those things where it's just I'm gonna always relate that to OJ came from that. OJ established. OJ birthed that.
Yeah.
And
he was the same at every stage. The stories people had about him at USC was the same stories they had about him when he was in the NFL. The same stories they had when he was on the golf course. Like it didn't matter. He was that same person. Right. So if anybody has any, it was T.O. man. I love me.
I love me some meat.
I love me some meat. Right.
I love me some meat.
Right.
Hey, let's go, baby.
That's a blessing, man. When you love yourself, man. Confident
in
yourself, man.
That's what I'm saying. It's just OJ. He definitely did that. I don't know if OJ realized what he was creating. Maybe he did.
He did.
I'm sure. Oh yeah, I think so. I mean, even especially on Twitter. Honestly, I think when he got free and he hit Twitter, that was the best thing that ever happened to OJ.
He was 500,000 subscribers in one day. I was one of them.
OJ was. I'm still subscribed to OJ on there. I'm watching the whole video.
Was his first tweet? Hey, Twitter world. Was that his first tweet?
Yeah. Hey, Twitter world.
I don't even remember. I had it set up so anytime he tweeted, it would come to my phone.
Wow.
A notification.
Like I said, he has created that lane. And honestly, the sports world, I'm surprised they won't embrace him because, like I said, the backlash. But the sports world needs to embrace. They need to talk about that elephant in the room.
Mm-hmm.
He is huge.
There wouldn't be no Coach Prime. I'll tell you that right now.
And you know what?
No Coach Prime.
No, a lot of people are starting to include him in their greatest of all time list again. They'll start it off. Hey, say what you want to say what he did off the field. On the field, this is a bad joke.
That's what I'm saying.
And this was before the time of the other 2,000-yard rushers. This was before that.
The original 2,000-yard
rushers. Right, exactly. This was before Terrell Davis and
games.
You can't take that away, man.
Yeah.
You cannot. And like I said, they've allowed this trial. They've allowed the downfall and the missteps and the mishaps. They've allowed that to take away from, you know what? At the end of the day, he's an athlete. He's a guy that transcended, moved on from places that he wanted to get out of. Obviously, USC. He's a guy at USC. I mean, he California native. I mean, what more do you want? I mean, that was OJ.
Unlike Howard, USC has never shunned OJ. They just took Diddy the honorary degree from him.
Right.
SC ain't never said nothing bad about
They didn't say anything bad. They
I say a whole lot right there.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So, yeah, and to H-Rap's point, I wasn't thinking that, but he may say, yeah, he noticed. I think he did notice. I don't know if he got a chance to express that he noticed. We never know.
But he did. Look at the end of this documentary. He started doing whatever it took to stay in the media. And then look, OJ, this is my favorite part of the whole series. OJ said in the documentary to his agent, hey man, I get more women and more pub now than when I was the good guy. So I'm gonna play this bad guy thing. So I'm gonna start smoking weed outwardly because he already smoked weed. Because that's what you found out he smoked weed already. Mm-hmm. He outwardly smoking weed. He out here with these chicks. Hey man, I'm gonna stay in this tabloid thing and I'm gonna get this paper. And then what did he do? What did think about it, man? Think about this. When he beat that case, it's 96. Hip hop is on the way up. Yeah. So what did he do? He became a hip hop caricature. I got naked white girls in my videos. I'm dressing like
got big dollar chains and
big chains. He telling everybody they want meat. I'm like, come on, dog. This man, he knew exactly what was going on, and that's what I'm saying, man. Hey, man, he said, you know what? I'm gonna be famous, and I'm gonna get this paper, and he did.
Yeah, and that's a good segue. So he moved to Florida. Then he moved to Vegas, and that's when when the whole thing.
He moved to Vegas when he got out.
Oh, when he got out of
he was to Florida. He went to Florida after kind of the Nicole Simpson, the house. Get rid of the house, let the house go, or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he moved to South Miami.
He went there for a wedding. Mm-hmm. He flew in for a wedding.
You're right. He didn't move there. You're right.
Yeah.
And I wanted to get on this, and then we can kind of get towards the end here. But the people saying, so now you black, when he which that's a valid point, because early on he was OJ. He was that image.
Yeah.
I don't want to get involved with Jim Brown and Lou Alcindor. I don't want to get involved with black issues. And I think let's be honest, it was convenient for him to go that route because the other side was done with him. So he went to his, I think it was his friend that said he went back to being in Galileo High School and just doing what he used to do growing up. Right. And like, I'm not gonna fault the guy. Like, if you're somebody that knows how to position yourself in different situations and make sure that the best works out for you, I'm not gonna fault you. I do think his kids got some of the brunt of the issue when he's living his life the way he was living it.
Well, I'm sure
he loved him some him. I love me some me.
Yeah. So especially at the younger kids felt that one. The code, the code set.
This is the reason that I don't think OJ has ever truly been the sellout he's been painted to be. His oldest daughter, Arnell, the Dr. Brown lady, very nice looking woman. Guess what university she went to? Howard.
Take a while. Howard.
Howard. She has a degree from Howard. If you a straight sellout like he's been painted, you don't let your daughter go to Howard. You tell her to go to SC. Because you're going to be Cadillac. You OJ Simpson's daughter. You're going to Cadillac into SC.
Yeah.
They might have people literally carry you around.
Yeah. You're gonna get paper class, you go to SC.
That's what I'm saying. You're gonna get, hey man, you're gonna walk through that degree.
Yeah. Everything came. What you talking about?
Right. So I believe this image of this sellout is convenient to allow OJ to be called a sellout at this point. But
See, I didn't.
no, I'm apolitical. I'm not going to get involved. I'm not going to let y'all know I'm a Republican. I'm a Democrat. I'm a liberal. I'm a conservative. I'm not letting y'all know nothing because that's the great Michael Jordan once said. They buy gym shoes too. I don't want nobody not buy none of these hams. I don't want nobody not get none of these renting none of these cars. Whatever I'm endorsing, I want you to buy it.
Right.
And that was just a business decision.
Yeah, that's what I felt. And, like about OJ. It was one of those things where, to H-Rap's point, it's like I'm putting my name behind this. My name is on this. Y'all want me to show up for this, so y'all have to take in everything that I'm presenting because I shake your hand, you go shake my hand, you scratch my back, I'm gonna scratch your back because it's just one of those things. I'm like, and I'm watching this and I'm looking, I'm like, man, OJ is it was kind of like it also reminded me of Louis Armstrong. When we watched that documentary,
yeah, that's a good one.
It's like, look, I love my music. I'm very aware of what's going on over here right now. But the moment I step over here, now you're going to try to use me as a spearhead. But I have to separate those things because now you're messing with my career and my profession. Jazz music, the golden era, this is what I'm ushering in. Ella Fitzgerald, this is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
The Duke Ellingtons,
Count
this
Basie.
is I'm another OJ in my own world. Now I didn't go out and do something crazy that got me in court in a court of law, but I'm trying to create something because guess what? They barely don't want us here anyway.
Right.
I think what you were saying, Wilkes, not to cut you off, man. I just have to say this, man, because I'm thinking of the psychology of a person. Because those type of people dream so big, they don't want nobody else affecting their dream.
I can't let you stop me.
I can't let you stop me. That's with Jordan. That was with OJ. That was with Louis.
Yeah.
Those three right there was so locked into the persona, the brand. You look now, Oprah Winfrey. Like they might have had to dance dirty a certain type of way, but at the end or keep quiet on certain things. They know wrong and they really can't speak on it. But they're like, hey, I got one life to live. I'm going through this one time, and I want to taste it.
Right, because we're not the Byron Allens, we're not the Tyler Perrys. We don't have those high figures that are in that community. Hey, we're gonna boost you. We're gonna put you out there because every time we try to, we become a Tulsa, we become a Rosewood. So it's like, no, we can't do that. So now we got to fiddle and play to the pander to the people that are controlling the whole thing. I'm sorry. Don't get me wrong. I'm not ignoring the situation, but let me get my foot in the door first. And then we can talk about what's happening and establishing. It happened with Arthur Ashe. We were watching that episode.
Yeah, that's another one. Yeah. What's up, Barbershop Sports Talk?
That's Trey.
Yeah, Trey and Maestro.
Look, let me add a preacher to the list. TD Jakes, when he started going in them Euro
swallowing.
Say somebody should have said, hey, TD, hey, cut that out, man. That ain't.
Somebody should have said, pause.
On the I was almost
on the mic.
I swallowed.
He went Bill Cosby on that too. He went Bill Cosby voice. But go ahead.
Bill Cosby was another one, man. Like
but
Bill did speak up and say certain things to go help. So he went out a little bit more on the limb than like your OJ and them. He did a little bit more, you know.
Right.
Yeah, man. Because if you look up some of those old Phil Donahue's and those talk shows, Bill was black. Bill was blacker than the back of your neck. I'm telling you, man. Hey, man,
blacker than Whoopi Goldberg lips. Yeah.
I'm gonna send y'all some things. I posted something yesterday that Bill Cosby said.
I saw that. Yeah.
And people don't know that side of Bill.
That's what I'm saying. They playing,
and it's
they
and
want
it's
to act
different.
like
It's different times because now everything is seen. Whatever you do has has the ability to be seen because of camera phones, because of the internet. If the internet was going on during those times, we probably would have seen more. Same thing that people criticize Michael Jordan and say he don't do a lot.
We literally have examples, like H-Rap's point. We have examples of the same thing. We want to embrace the Bill Cosbys, but how dare you, whatever you're related or you're in. We embrace Ice-T, even though the song was not, they took Cop Killer wrong, but now we want to embrace him, and now he's in movies, now he's in commercials, he's a household name. Snoop Dogg. Oh, he's a gangster rap. What is he doing? Now he's in every damn thing. The dude's got a German commercial where he's rapping. I don't even know, man. In other words, it's like now because these guys have created these brands.
Yeah.
Because they watched people before them do it. OJ has done it.
Yeah. He even worked with a felon, Martha Stewart.
Yeah, he worked with a felon.
Because it's
he works with a real criminal.
It's like society forgets how they quickly it's gonna stew for a minute, but you're gonna let bygones be bygones unless you Frank Goldman. But then it's one of those things where it's just now they're on everything. They're in everything.
The day that OJ chase went down, if I'd have said it's gonna be a crip and a felon on TV, you would never thought Snoop Dogg and Martha Stewart would be the felon.
Right.
Yeah. Man, but they making money. Exactly. People love it.
Yeah.
Again, you've made this diaspora, you created this atmosphere of forget that so what? We don't care about that anymore. We love that you're entertaining us. The idiot box has us just got us locked in
a trance. In
a trance. We love it. Keep it up. We want more.
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg doing Corona commercials. Martha Stewart's out here pumping shit into her lips and doing commercials.
And you know the funny thing, Martha Stewart has hinted towards sleeping with Snoop Dogg.
I'm sorry.
I'm not.
I wouldn't put it past.
Seriously, she was like, "Yeah, I've had my back blown out," and I'm like,
awkward.
And then we seen Martha Stewart on the Sports Illustrated.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what has nothing to do with
felons now.
Yeah. All right, let's get to before we wrap it up. Let's get to the Vegas, and also the book. If I Did It, I remember when that came out, and I was like, why? Well, it was money. It was a money situation, but why? Why even bring it up again? But hey, he lived off of that case, for a long time. So, but anyway, so he's in Vegas at the Palace Station. Interesting enough, I've stayed at the Palace Station. I'm watching this now. I'm like, dang, I'd stay there. But anyway, room 1203, the whole scene going down. But he found out his manager, which the dude that was being interviewed all along in this thing, had some of his stuff. Now, was this I'm assuming it was up because he didn't pay or whatever. So he was like, I'm gonna go ahead and grab it. His stuff ends up being at this location, and they devised this plan with Michael McClinton, a dude that looked like the dude that played the dude that played Martin Luther King, what's that dude's name? The dude with the S curl and some. Like the plan was horrible. Okay, the plan was not drawn up right. It was not organized fair, and they go in there, give me my stuff. Nobody move, and the Michael McClinton's guy, like, I'm telling somebody get down or lay down. It's like a bad it's a bad TV show. So obviously it goes wrong. They end up getting the stuff back. And I remember all of this happening, and I'm like, why? Why of all people? Why? Why you? So, you know, winding back. I don't remember what year that was, but anyway, what was you guys' thoughts on that segment of it? And did you remember it when it was going on real time? Al,
donkey of the day, or dumbasses, because you like I saw like when I relived that whole situation, I was just shaking my head like, man, you older than most of these dudes that you rolling with. You're trying to show up with authority. Yeah. You couldn't figure out a way to have a conversation, like a civilized conversation where we gonna come up in there mad demanding our stuff. And what if they didn't give you the stuff and you took and they still called the cops on you saying, hey, we got robbed by OJ Simpson, even though they laughed at him. Well, you got robbed by OJ Simpson. This must be April Fool's or something right now.
Right. This is a joke, right?
Yeah. But that's all I gotta say. I just thought it was very dumb. It made me wonder, did OJ have CTE? But that's a whole different. I was just very disappointed, man. Like when that, and I think that's when I changed. I said, man, this dude in the news again for some. I was already doing crazy stuff. I was 21, 22 at the time when he went to jail. I was already dealing with my own issues to begin with. But I'm like, this dude, 57, something, 60 years old, and he's still out here cutting up, and he still ain't learned nothing. And we got people, young people who flocking to you. They said he was at Vegas, and people were flocking to him, looking up to him, man. And you still out here cutting, man, bro, stop it.
Yeah. I think that's the easy way to look at it. I mean, somebody said this when it happened. Somebody said, man, you could have just had somebody go get it. But that's your stuff. And I'm not justifying anything. It was stupid. I totally agree with Al. He the donkey of the decade. But that was clearly a setup. The reason I say it's a setup, that's the only state in the United States of America that OJ would have went to the penitentiary for more than 2 years. That is the only state. The reason being is because it was organized crime-ridden state, and used to have gangsters taking stuff from people. So when you physically take something from somebody in Vegas, they slam you. They slam you, and that's what it was. It is clear. You got one dude who says he had the right to carry a firearm, and the dude ended up snitching and not doing no jail time. The other dude didn't snitch. And I ain't jail time for OJ. Well, you were part of the deal, man. Yeah. And he was stupid for going along with it, but I do understand it because I'm gonna ask this question. I'm gonna shut up to you three and anybody who watching. If somebody stole your vehicle and said, "Hey, man, they over there on Main and Madison Avenue. Yeah. Are you gonna go get your vehicle, or are you gonna call the police and say, "Hey, go get my car for me"? You going to get I'm going to get my vehicle. It's not the smartest thing in the world to do.
I ain't going. I mean, because for me, and maybe depend on what age I'm at. I mean, I got a family. Like, I don't know what could happen. And that to Al's point, at some point, you got to think, what if? Like, me doing this, yes, it's my stuff. It's my stuff. But me doing this and the way I'm going about doing it is, if I'm thinking ahead, if I'm thinking just this far ahead, this is not going to work out.
Okay, is that then seeing what happened to OJ thinking? Put yourself in the moment.
Oh no, I ain't gonna do it because I still think about these people out here in 2024 crazy as hell. They might pull a gun on me.
No. But we got to go back 14 years.
Yeah. Hey, people still was crazy back then before the cell phone.
But I'm just saying. Put yourself in the mind state of somebody.
I think what he's saying is, like, in the moment, you're gonna that adrenaline is gonna kick
you don't know what you're gonna do in the moment.
Because it's one of those. I worked hard for this shit. And now you just gonna come in and just take it, or they were taking it from me when I was trying to hang on to anything that I had.
I think in that moment, I think during that time, his world was just spiraling. It was like a hangover. I'm assuming it was probably like Hangover the movie. Like you do what you did last night, you wake back up, you do the same thing again. I think he didn't have any care, I don't think, at that moment.
Yeah, and I think it was mentioned that he needed the money at some point. So he thought, maybe if I can get this stuff back and this
Yeah,
memorabilia, and it's worth money. These are my things. I think that was kind of a tooth. Like, there's some things I want to hang on to. There's some things that I might sell, but I'm going to go through the right channels to sell it. It's my stuff.
Yeah.
So it's just a mixed bag of different things.
Yeah.
But to A-Trap's point, I think in that moment, OJ's like, he's locked in, laser focused. This is all I see. Now, on the outside of that, to Al Hygh's point, who knows how that situation gonna go? Because somebody pulling guns, or somebody gonna be talking crazy, and it's gonna not go the way you thought it was gonna go.
Yeah, tempers flaring. You never know what's gonna happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I know for me, it's just best that I not go. That's all I'm gonna say.
Mhm.
It's just really best. It's just really best that I not go. Okay, I'm just gonna say I just better call somebody because it ain't. Yeah, it's just bad.
Yeah. What's up, April Showers? Appreciate you for tuning in. All right, so he ends up going to jail for that. 13 and to A-Trap's point, and I know you got to get ready to go in a minute.
A couple extra minutes. That's what I just said.
Okay. So 13 years to the day. So what was it a setup? I don't know. I don't know if it was a setup, but I do know the minute that something happened, he was gonna go to jail for longer than whatever the minimum was because of what lingered from 13 years ago.
Absolutely.
So at that point, I'm not shocked about it all. But I think the guys knew, even the guy that looked like Martin Luther King actor, even he was like, we was all thinking of the money we was gonna get. They was all thinking about the end, and then when it went sideways, the dude like, you ain't gonna look out for me, OJ. When he came to you, he was all good with it. But now at the moment, you like, nah, I'm not sticking up for you. So it was gonna come to a bad end, no matter what, and that's what ended up happening.
And that's why I say, man, I don't trust this part, And then like they keep saying OJ was broke. Hold it, broke people don't jump on planes from Florida and rent tuxedos and then go to weddings,
right?
And then if he was broke, why wasn't he broke the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years he been out of jail since he got out of jail? You move from Florida and you living and golfing. I saw it every day. He posting from the golf course, and then about a month before he died, somebody said, "Hey man, Bruce Jenner said this about him." He said, "Well, I don't know Caitlyn Jenner." He said, I barely know Bruce. And he was like, hey, women live longer than men, so maybe he on to something. And he was getting into a Tacoma at that point. This I think it's an over exaggeration of this dude being broke because he can't touch his NFL pension, and he was always getting money for appearing at places.
Right.
He was doing stuff.
The houses became untouchable. The pension became untouchable.
So
I think it was his stuff. To your point, Adrian, it was his, and Wilkes, I think you said this. It was his stuff. I'm going to get my stuff. I don't think it was really about money. It was just like, this is mine. I want my stuff back.
I got to clean this.
Yeah. So,
because they already took Rockingham, they took my house, they kicked me out of Brentwood, kind of. This is what I need. This is my stuff. I need my stuff. Yeah.
So it obviously didn't work out well. That was payback. The payback happened in reverse. I mean, so like, and we know how the system works. The system don't forget. People don't forget what you do and what you get away with. So when you slip up again, it's gonna be a wrap.
They coming at you tenfold.
Yeah.
Coming at you.
All right, let's get the final thoughts and Mike rating. A-Trap, I'm gonna go to you first.
Mike rating, final thoughts. This is excellent. Wonderful work. I see why they gave it a whatever Emmy, Skimmy, whatever they gave it to him. I don't know the award show.
Skimmy.
Whatever they gave it. It was excellent work. Thank you, Al, for doing it. I'm gonna give it. You know what? I'm gonna go out. Even though I know it's not a 5, but
I'm
gonna give it a 5. I'm gonna give it a 5.
Yeah.
The reason I'm gonna give it a 5 is because if you didn't follow it every day like I did. Because I was into this like you wouldn't believe. You walked into this thinking OJ didn't do it. Midway through it, he did do it. You get somebody like Will saying, "Well, why didn't they convict him on this?" You don't know. You walked out of this. This was a truly unbiased POV. Loved it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it 5. You know what? It is a 5, but I'm gonna give it a 5.
Yeah.
No.
All right, we'll come to Al in a minute, and then if you gotta go, A-Trap, it's all good.
Yeah, I gotta go.
All right, OC, thank you for tuning in. Overton Claiborne said dope show. Appreciate that. Make sure to check out his podcast. And A-Trap, we will see you next week.
I got a couple minutes. I got a couple minutes.
All right, and before you go, we are going to do Book of Clarence next week, which is on Netflix. That's gonna be a good one because it's got a lot of different ways. I actually watched it over the weekend, but we could do that next week. But Al, final thoughts. Mike rating: 1 being the worst, 5 being the best.
I give it a 4.5. I feel like part 5, I believe, left some things out. I kind of wish now we would get like a part 6 after OJ gets out.
Yeah,
to really understand.
Yeah,
absolutely.
To really, and then really to give this man, we should have gave the man flowers. Once again, I'm glad Cameron did give him his flowers, and which deserved. And even all the Twitter followers gave him his flowers for over almost 1 million followers. And you tuned in to hear what OJ had to say. You give him flowers. So
absolutely.
I mean, I give it a 4.5. I thought it was very informative. It's always a reminder to look back at history to see where you come from. And also, another reason I give it a 4.5 because I believe a lot of people were like very biased in the documentary, saying that OJ did it. Everybody, this person did that. A lot of people believe he did it, but you only had a handful who really was like, nah, he didn't do this crime. And so I believe a little more balance to me would have been 5 mics, but 4.5 for me.
All right. Wilkes.
Well, as this is actually my first time watching this, I was definitely compelled and locked in. And I mean, I went, even though we were watching it and like, I guess I was watching it straight through. So I don't know if people broke it up or what. But I have to give it a 5. And the reason I'm going to give it a 5 is because me growing up at such a young age in the 80s and the 90s, OJ did achieve what he set out to do. I mean, I remember him calling games on NBC, sitting in the booth, sitting in the studio. I remember him acting in movies, doing commercials. I remember him on trial. I remember him after the trial, like, man, put your head down and get out of there. I remember him getting locked up, and I was like, oh, damn, they caught you. So he could think about that and to A-Trap, he has been something that has existed since conception. I mean, his whole life transcended decades. And it's just OJ has always been, whether it's a high and low, OJ's in the middle. He's in the lyrics. He's in the background. It's just one of those things where he's just going to exist. Like he wove himself literally into pop culture, your existence, whether you remember him and you're mad, you want to spit in his face, or you want to hug him and say, hey, OJ, will you do this for me? Will you sign my jersey? He definitely established what he set out to do with some dark side and with some light side. He gave you balance.
Yeah.
He gave you balance. I made some mistakes. I've got my human side. You might still want to kick me and spit on me, whatever, but you can't take away my accolades and my achievements and my contributions that I've did, especially in open doors for people and just directly and indirectly open doors. So, I have to give it a 5. I mean, that name just is going to always resonate to me. It's going to always linger. I mean, it's just like whether it's Jordan, Michael Jackson, whoever. I mean, Martin Luther King. Those names are going to resonate. They're gonna link you to something. And I know for personally, just being on this show, every time we watch something, it's something we've talked about. It's always like, man, Louis Armstrong's in the background. We just talked about Louis Armstrong.
We go full circle.
It just reconnects back. It comes back to us. So like Wendy Williams, we watched something with Wendy Williams. I'm like, oh wow, that's Wendy Williams. Now Wendy Williams again with interviewing OJ. it's something there that just keeps connecting. So yeah, I know that's a long final thought. I know
No,
H-R's got to go.
That was dope. No, we good.
I give it a 5. I think that
Yeah.
to me that OJ, seriously, I think OJ set out to do what he wanted to do, whether blemish or not. I think he did that. I think he did that.
Yeah. And I'm agree. I'm gonna give it a 5 too. This is what A-Trap always talks about. You can't give someone of this magnitude a 2-hour documentary. You have to break this up into parts because he lived multiple lives. He lived multiple careers, and they went to the beginning. They talked about his parents. They got it. The people from he grew up with, friends. And they got everybody involved. So you had everybody's perspective of him, and it really allowed you to choose: did he do it? Did he didn't do it? Who was he? Who was OJ the person?
He directed it. He directed his own stalking videos. Take a picture of me taking the flag down.
Exactly.
Take a picture of me backing out of my drive.
Right.
Because he knew at that time the tabloids were going crazy.
Right.
He
was that image. You know, that's what they do on social media now. If you're on TikTok, that video that they post with them dancing, all that, they probably did that like 10, 15 times to get it right.
Mm-hmm.
So the dude was really before his time. I agree with you, Al. At the end, I felt like they could have did more, maybe interviewing him or something. He wasn't on camera at all, actually. While
he was locked up when they did this.
Yeah. But I mean, I felt like they could, people that are locked up, you still able to do something to include
unless
them.
he turned it down.
They had volume. They had audio of him talking, but they did a great job at this. So really, shout out to the director. I felt like this was well done. Probably one of the best 30 for 30s. I think that they've done.
It's in my top 5.
Definitely, I agree with you. I agree with you there. So yeah, we appreciate the recommendation, Al. We definitely will have you on again. And man, this was this really lived up to. I think it lived up to what it was supposed to be.
Gosh, in time.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that.
Thank you, LP. I call you LP when you drop that LP, not the EP. But it's one of those things where it's like, I can't believe I waited this long to watch it. This is 2016.
Yeah. It's almost 10 years. Almost 10 years.
And I saw it, and I remember it coming out, and I think I'm just like, and I guess I treated it like Dear Mama. It was just like, oh gosh, they're just gonna pin OJ. They're gonna talk about the trial again. But I misjudged it, and I'm glad Al Hygh suggested this because I enjoyed it. Definitely, like I said, I watched it, even though I didn't even break it up. It's like, oh, I gotta watch it again. I need more. I can't just leave it here. And yes, I think 6 or 7 episodes would have been nice, but I really enjoyed this, and I'm open for some more suggestions. But I definitely enjoyed this one.
And I think the best movies, films, documentaries, whatever, it leaves you wanting more and wanting you to get to do more research or to figure out what happened after this. Or if you watching something and you're on your phone Googling who is this, what is this, I feel like that intrigues you even more. So all right, so like we said, next week, the Book of Clarence, which is available on Netflix, so make sure to tune in next week. Hopefully Doc is back. Al, what do you have coming up? What you working on lately?
Man, I've been working with my drone. I've been putting up drone footage, working on getting my part 107.
You got drone license?
No, that's why I'm going to go take my test for that in the next week or 2.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm trying to get into, my drone license.
Yeah. So I've been flying pretty much every day, building the craft, man. And I mean, I love sports. I love the sports content, but I also beyond that as well. I'm a huge aviation person, so getting into that space has been good. That's why I've taken somewhat of a hiatus from covering content because I've been just locked in to this, man. It's really studying for your part 107. I tell people it's like studying to become a pilot because some of the airspace, all that. I mean, it's a lot, but it's dope when you get into it and learn about the runways and the landing and stuff. They have you test over that. So that's what I've been doing, man. I'm excited every day I go.
I love to hear it.
Yeah, that's dope. Glad to hear that. All right, the end of the bench tomorrow.
Basically, I'm talking about how we have to tell our own stories and shape our own stories, and not allow people to step in and pretend to be a part of our community, like this Jack Leg House dude from the House of Representatives who believes Trump is going to make him the vice president.
Mm.
Oh,
Yeah, this guy.
this guy.
Yeah, the Jim Crow.
Get the gabagoo. Yeah, this guy.
Yeah. He's a creep, and we're going to have to start policing those creeps.
Yeah. We're gonna have to start holding these creeps accountable. That's what
he's
really
pretty much a Herschel Walker replacement. They can't
Exactly.
Herschel didn't work, so we got to
I'm
find another.
thinking of Herschel, yeah.
Yeah.
But he's still stupid, so it didn't really help.
Yeah.
It still didn't work out. And the fact that people think that Trump actually cares about you,
That's
the minute you are not loyal to him,
right.
you're done. He'd rather see you hung.
Because
you're dead.
He's obsessed with dictatorship. He's obsessed with monarchies. He likes one rule. He likes to be in charge. That's why he embraces these other countries of communism. Because, man, I want to rule as long as they did. I want to be remembered and
revered,
etched out of stone
and
everything else. Yeah, he loves the fact that there's no party, just one entity. I exist. I'll have this role until I die, like Castro. He loves that. He loves that center of attention, and whatever it takes, I'll use that to get to what I need to do. I'll step on you to get where I need to go.
And I keep seeing people who are beholden to this foolish idea of, hey, man, maybe we need to leave Democrats alone. But you should have thought of that 4 years ago.
Right. And even before then, they should have thought about that long ago, like way back. 60s, the Dixiecrats. Maybe you should have been thinking about it then at that time.
Right. So, just and look, politicians only do what you ask. And black people ain't never asked the Democratic Party to do anything as a collective. Yeah. So you want to be mad at them, walk past that mirror, or this is what you do. Since y'all love selfies so much, look, get ready to take a selfie and say, it's your fault.
Yeah. Right.
So, I'm gonna talk about that tomorrow.
It's like,
I know me, I piss off my supporters and everything, I piss off my supporters.
It's so funny. It's so crazy to me because as we look at some of the most prominent black people in history, Frederick Douglass and Eli Whitney, people like that, George Washington Carver, these people were Republicans. But that was a time where that was a party of prospering.
Mm-hmm.
But those people that were those seated people that were in that party didn't like the fact that black people were prospering in that party and moving forward. Now we got to flip the party. Now we got to, we're going to move down here and be Democratic. So now we're going to kick y'all out. So now we got to find a spot to be in. So it's nobody wants to read the history to find that out.
Yeah. That'll be too much work. I mean, we should roll with Trump. We should roll with the white nationalists versus the pimps. Come on, man. Stop.
Yeah, stop. Pick one, man. All right, slow down.
What we need to do is put this, like I said it 4 years ago on Big Illinois. You remember that show Big Illinois had right then called The Backyard. I said it 4 years ago then. I said we need to elect this dude and the day after election start looking for his replacement.
Yeah.
I said we need the we party.
Yeah.
And nobody, now you want, oh man, Trump hates you.
Yeah.
Biden hates you. So you need to get something.
Man.
Everybody, like Ice Cube, you need to be asking for something. No, Ice Cube, you should have said that 4 years ago. You know when you put on Twitter, you give up? That's the day you should have came out with a list. I challenged Luther Campbell last night on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. I challenged Luther Campbell. He had this list of stuff that Biden needed to do. I said, why didn't you put this list out the day after the election?
Right.
So I want to hear about.
I don't want to hear that.
We got to stop waiting to the last minute, man.
Right.
Procrastinating.
We also, I don't want to. I know we're making this longer than it should be. My bad. We also have to start paying attention because I remember these things, and I was talking to my wife about this yesterday. What happened to politics on a local level?
Exactly.
They don't even see
Nobody-
another thing. They don't know.
Nobody pays attention to local level politics. All they care about is who's major on the ticket trying to run the country, the highest office in the land. But it starts here first.
Ask high school, ask all these dudes. Only person I ain't mad at for saying hold your vote is this one dude. He's one guy. His name is Dr. Claude Anderson. Dr. Claude Anderson has been saying that since 1998. So he has the right to say it today.
Right.
But these dudes who show up every 4 years, hold your vote until we get something. Did you say that last month? No. Right. Where were you a month ago? A year ago? 3 years ago?
Right.
Okay, tell you what. What are we, since we're going to hold out, what are we going to ask for?
Right.
You know. No, I don't know. Tell me what to ask for.
Yeah.
Who's your city councilor? Who's your state representative? Who's your state senator?
Who's
your U.S. senator? Who's your U.S. representative? I don't know.
That's local level. Right. It's local level. Politics, they think some people think politics only exists on a higher level. You literally, for example, people don't realize, some people, and I say people, but I mean some people, because some people know. I don't want to cast a big net, but it's like some people don't realize you're crying about that pothole and you keep crying about this. They literally have websites you can go to, click on it, report it, and it becomes a document. And now that document will move through the system. Hey, somebody said they had a pothole. It caused them to have 2 flats. That's where it starts. Small things.
Yeah.
And then go from there. Hey, this trash has been piling up over here. It's been cluttered. And nobody, next thing you know, sanitation's out there. Small things. You have to start small in order to gain the foothold on the larger picture, in my opinion. But
yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
It's like we just blow. Clinton did this, or Bush did this, or Obama didn't do this, or Biden didn't. Trump didn't do this. I'm like, stop.
What you asked for? That's all I want to know. Yeah. Give me the list so so we can create the petition of these things that we need. Right. And nobody ever gave me a list. Luther Campbell gave me a list, and then I said, "Okay, why you asked for it?" He never responded.
Of course, he won't. No, he won't.
Yeah.
He won't.
All right, guys.
All right, Bob. We'll see you.
All right, we'll see you next week.
Yep.
All right.
And I'm out.
Peace.
Peace.
All right. So tomorrow on the Queen, Three, and King will be returning. Black Responsibility featuring Gary, the philosopher Freeman. So make sure to tune in.
Sit your ass down. There's a wrap. There's a wrap.
Yeah. So make sure to tune in next week. Next week to the forecast, but tomorrow tune in to Queen, Three, and King at 7. Al, appreciate you for coming on.
Man,
we will definitely do this again, man.
Yeah, I've got to have him back, Al. I appreciate it because I had never watched this. As old as it is, it was still compelling and powerful. Yeah. Like, I mean, I should have watched it then, but I don't know why. I don't know what made me not watch it, but man, I wanted more from it just watching it. I mean,
yeah, I agree. It definitely felt you wanting more, and plus, so much stuff has happened since this was over with. Right. So there's a lot of things. So. Yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. We'll be back next week, the Book of Clarence. Check out this video from our sponsor, Sheer Alternatives, all natural dental products and more. So we'll see you next week. Peace.
It's all pure from Mother Nature. It's all